Hello, my yarny friends. I'm Sara Sach, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now, it's in between Christmas and New Year's, and we never know what to do crochet-wise with that week that's in between. So I've designed some fun little patterns that keep us busy and also make something fun. This is our toast coaster. It's so cute. I just had so much fun designing this. It's a piece of toast with a little pat of butter with a smile on it, with plenty of room for a coffee cup or glass to set on it. It also makes great play food. If you have a play kitchen for your kids or your grandkids, make them some play toast and they can make you some breakfast. Isn't that fun? It's super easy and super fun to stitch up. And of course, I will have the complete pattern on my blog, and as always, I'll put that blog link down in the notes underneath this video. To make this little toast in the new year coaster, wouldn't that be fun to give to all your guests at your party? Oh, by the way, it measures about 5 by 6 inches, so there's plenty of room here also to maybe put a wine goblet. Anywho, you're going to need some cotton. Now, you can make this out of acrylic, but I really chose to make it out of cotton. I think it'll hold up good for playing as well as using as a coaster. Okay, so you're going to need some 100% cotton in a beige, and I've got a little bit lighter color beige here. And these are just, I pulled from my yarn stash. They're peaches and cream or sugar and cream, or I love this cotton or premier cotton, just all 100% cottons that I have on hand. Okay, so you're going to need about maybe an ounce of a beige, just a little bit of brown and a little bit of yellow, and you can make one of these super easy. All right, we're going to stitch with our H-hook, 5mm crochet hook. You need a needle for weaving in ends and sewing on your little face and sewing on your pat of butter. And then, of course, you're going to need some scissors. All right, so we're going to start with our beige color for the center of our toast. We're going to make our slip knot, and we're going to chain 16 chains. Now remember, chain this beginning chain just a little bit loose so the bottom of your toast doesn't pucker up on you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Just a little bit loose. Now we're going to go in the second chain from the hook and stitch a half double crochet. So yarn over, go in that second chain, pull up a loop. You'll have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and go through all 3 loops. And now we're just going to stitch 1 half double crochet in each of our chains, working all the way across. One half double crochet in each of our chains across. We started in the second chain from the hook and stitched a half double crochet in each stitch across, so we have 15 half double crochets. We're going to chain 1, and our chain 1 does not count as a stitch, so we'll go right in our first stitch and stitch a half double crochet. And we'll stitch 1 half double crochet in each of the half double crochets across. I like the half double crochet because it's a nice compact stitch. Not too tall like a double crochet, not too short like a single crochet. 1 half double crochet in each of our stitches, working all the way across. And chain 1. So for row 2, we again have 15 half double crochets. So we chain 1, we're going to turn, and now what we're going to do for the next 5 rows is just repeat row 2. Chain 1, turn, 1 half double crochet in each of the stitches across, chain 1, turn, and repeat. So we're going to repeat row 2 for 5 more rows. I stitched those additional 5 rows, so we have 7 rows of half double crochets with 15 stitches on each row. All right, I chained 1 and we're going to turn. Now, on row 8, what we're going to do is we're going to stitch 2 half double crochets in our first stitch. 1 and 2. And then we'll stitch 1 half double crochet in each of the stitches working across until we reach that last stitch. And then in our last stitch, we'll stitch 2 half double crochets in the same stitch. This is going to increase at the beginning and end of this row. Alrighty. Alright, so now we're to our last stitch, and in this last stitch, we're going to stitch 2 half double crochets and chain 1. And what this does is it increases, like I said, at the beginning and end, and we're going to start forming the top portion of our piece of toast. So now on row 10, we're basically going to repeat what we did on row 8. We're going to stitch 2 half double crochets in the first stitch, and then we'll stitch 1 half double crochet in each of those stitches across. And when we reach that last stitch again, we'll stitch 2 half double crochets in that last stitch. I stitched across. Here's my last stitch, and then in that last stitch I'm going to stitch 2 half double crochets and chain 1. So we had 15. Then on row 8 we had 17. So now on row 9 we have 19 half double crochets. And now we're going to do this one more time. So we'll turn our work. We'll stitch 2 half double crochets in that first stitch, 1 half double crochet in each of our stitches across, and then we'll end with 2 half double crochets in that last stitch. So now on row 10, we have 21 half double crochets. We're going to chain 1 and turn. Now what we're going to do is we're going to stitch the first 2 together. So we'll yarn over, go in the first stitch, and pull up a loop. Then we'll go in the next stitch and pull up a loop. You'll have 4 loops on your hook instead of 3. So we'll yarn over and go through all 4 of those loops. And then we'll go to the next stitch and just stitch 1 half double crochet in each of our stitches across until we reach those last 2 stitches, and then we'll stitch those 2 together like we did at the beginning of this row. I stitched across half double crochets in each until I ended with 2 left over, and we're going to stitch these last 2 together. And chain 1. And this is going to cause us just to curl in just a little bit so that it forms the top of our bread or toast. Now at the end of row 11, we do not want to chain 1. We're going to cut our yarn and we're going to switch to our dark brown, which will be the outside edge of our toast. And so we're going to bring this in. We're going to chain 1 and turn. All right, now we're going to stitch 1 single crochet in each of these stitches across, and then we'll come down the side and evenly stitch around. We'll evenly stitch across the bottom and then back up, okay? So first we're going to go in that first single crochet, and we'll just work our way across the top, stitching 1 single crochet in each of those single crochets. So I have stitched a single crochet in each of my stitches across the top, and now we're going to evenly single crochet down the side of our toast. So we're going to go right in that same stitch that we ended on and stitch a single crochet, and now we're just going to ease around the side. And the key to getting a nice, neat appearance is to try to stitch in the sides of the stitches and not in the holes. And there is not a set amount of stitches that you need. You just need to make it look neat and tidy. Don't bunch them up too much, but don't leave too much space in between either. Just take your time and watch as you go. And we're just going to ease down the side, evenly stitching single crochets. When you get to this bottom corner, we're going to stitch a single crochet, chain one, and single crochet in the corner because we want to have a nice crisp corner on these two bottom corners. Alright, so I'm at the corner. I'm going to go in that stitch. I'm going to stitch a single crochet. I'm going to chain one and then stitch another single crochet in that first stitch. And that will give us a little bit more of a point or corner. Or up here, we wanted to just ease around it so it would look like the side of our bread that goes around. All right, so we have stitches to go across in from our beginning chain, and so we'll stitch across. We get to the corner, we'll do a single crochet, chain one, single crochet, and then work our way back up the other side of our toast. So we stitched across. We did a single crochet, chain one, single crochet in the corner, and then we just eased our way back up, evenly stitching single crochets. Now we do have some ends to weave in, but we want to join to that first single crochet with a slip stitch. Cut our yarn. Then we'll pull that loop into the next loop so we have a nice, neat finish. Okay, and then now I just need to weave these ends in, and then I'll show you how to make that pat of butter. My slice of toast is all tidied up. I've weaved in all my ends, and so now I'm going to make that fun little pat of butter that adds a little personality to our toast. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to grab some yellow. We'll make our slip knot and chain 6. We're going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook and then in each across. Chain one and turn, then we'll single crochet in that first stitch and each across. There we go. Chain one and turn and repeat. One single crochet in each of those stitches, and you're going to have 5 single crochets on all 3 of those rows. And chain 1. Looks like I have a knot I'm going to have to deal with, but we'll just keep going for now. All right, so now what you're going to do is you're going to single crochet again in each of those single crochets, and we'll pretend like we don't see that knot, and I'll come back and fix that later. All right, so now we have 4 rows of 5 single crochets on each row. We're going to chain 1, and now we're going to work down the side, and we're just going to stitch evenly some single crochets down the side. And now we're going to chain 1 and single crochet in that corner and go across the bottom. Just evenly single crocheting. All right, so now we're in the corner. We're going to move that string out of the way there. And we'll do the same thing. Single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, and then evenly single crochet back up. There we go. All right, so now we're in the corner, so we'll single crochet, chain 1, and join to that first single crochet. All right, mine didn't turn out as square as I would like it to be, but you can kind of move that around a little bit. We're going to tie off, and we're going to tie off with a nice long tail of yarn because we'll use that to sew that onto our slice of toast. All right, we're going to pull that loop to the back. Oops. All right, I need to weave these two ends in, and then I also need to weave in this end down here. And then I'm going to show you how to add that fun, silly face. Now, you don't have to add the face on there. I just think it's fun to add a fun little happy face to our pat of butter. I just think it makes it happy. All right, let's add a happy face to our pat of butter. When you add your smile, you need to make sure that you go through stitches and not the holes, or you'll lose those stitches. All right. So we're going to leave a little bit in the back here to weave in with. And we're just going to make a simple smile. You could make a frown if you wanted to. Frowny butter. All right, now I like to go back over it. I want it to just, be a little bit thicker. So I'm just going to go right over those stitches I just made. Make sure I'm not catching that one back there. I think it just has a possibility of staying on better too. Now when it comes to the eyes, you can do French knots, you can do straight lines like I did, or you can do winky eyes. It's totally up to you. I just kind of like the straight eyes because you can put them right in a stitch and they're going to stay put. And I just do 2 stitches. Just a real simple, fun face. And again, you want to make sure you go through those stitches or you'll lose it in those holes in between. And of course, you can do more details on your face if you want to. Like this one, the eyes are a little closer together. All right, so what I do on this is I don't really worry about weaving it in because this is going to be on the back side and it's up in the corner where you're not going to put a glass. So I just tie a couple of knots in there and clip it because we're going to sew this in place. All right. So there's my silly happy face. And you'll notice my square is not exactly even. And so when you go to sew this onto your piece of toast, you can even that out if you want to. Now this one I put on this corner. I'm going to put this one on this corner. I think it'd be fun just to do one just a little bit different. So I've threaded my yarn. I'm just going to hold it in place. And when you're stitching it on, you do want to try to go through the stitches. And I always do what I call a base stitch first. I sort of go around it just to make sure it's where I want it to be. And again, it's up to you. You can put it, down at the bottom if you want to. It's just up to you where you want it to be. And so I'm just sort of basting it on. It's kind of like when you're quilting and you baste things in place and you make sure it's where you like it to be, and then you can come back in and stitch over those stitches to make sure they're going to stay put. So I stitched around it with my basting stitches and I really like where it's at. So now I'm just going to go back around the way that I came and just go back over those stitches, making my stitches a little closer together. And keep in mind, if this is going to be used by a child, you want it to stay in place. You don't want them to be playing with it and have their butter come off or their face come unstitched, you know, on their butter. So just go around it like I am, going around that edge of stitches, making sure it's going to stay in place. So I have completed my second piece of toast. I put my butter pat on this side, and whether you put it on this side or this side, there is lots of room for a cup or glass on your coaster, and it's super fun to use these as play food. So let's toast in the new year with some new toast.